Manueta, good morning, and how are you, faithful? It's Captain Niner here with your Captain and Coffee Morning Report. If I sound a bit off this morning, it's because I feel like absolute crap, but we're still going to get this knocked out for today. So, obviously, we're going to talk a little bit about the highlights from the Shanahan-Lynch presser yesterday, where they obviously made it official that some of their off-season moves and stuff like that. So, obviously, the big one, Nick Sorensen is out as the defensive coordinator. He has not yet been fired. They're looking for him for another role within the organization. Maybe he goes back to the ball czar that he has been previously, which he was actually really good at. And then he's also spent a year being a special teams coach previously. So he could also go back to that. So like I said, he is not out of the organization quite yet. We'll see if he's willing to accept a different role, but to be determined. So that's with that. One of the other big notes was that Clay Kubiak has officially been promoted to offensive coordinator. However, unlike pretty much every other offensive coordinator in the NFL, he will not be doing the play calling. The play calling will stay with Kyle Shanahan for now. But I'm sure Kubiak will get his spots in like preseason and maybe like week 17 if we're in or out of the playoff type situations. So he'll still get those kind of a conversation, those type of situations where he'll still be able to call plays. But obviously, with Shanahan being the the offensive guru that he is, he's not having his play calling duties taken away from him. This is only the second time in Shanahan's tenure that he has had someone with the title offensive coordinator. The other one was Mike McDaniels, coach of the Miami Dolphins, and so maybe we will see a similar type trajectory for Clay Kubiak in the fact that maybe he gets to actually be an offensive coordinator in another organization or even a head coach, kind of like how with Mike McDaniels just kind of jumped that position in theory. Some other notes from the offensive. Debo will be back. I believe he said we are not in the business of getting rid of good players. I've been saying Debo's not going anywhere for a while, whether you like him or not. I'm still team pro Debo. So I think he will be back next year, hopefully, with him fully healthy. Don't forget he had pneumonia, he had the rib injury, he had other stuff he was dealing with all year, along with everything else going on with his team. So I think it was a down year for him in general. I think he'll come back next year, probably take over the kick return role full time, and then we'll see how it goes. Excuse me. They talked about Trent Williams. Trent Williams is 100% committed to being back with the organization come next season. So so far it doesn't look like we have to worry about anything happening with him. But also we didn't know that Joe Staley was retiring until literally the second before he retired. So with the trade for Trent Williams. So maybe it's always possible something like that. And obviously on the offensive side of the ball, getting Brock Purdy signed very quickly is the priority. I'm hoping they get it done before the Super Bowl, before March at the absolute latest. But obviously the sooner the better. I'm sorry, I don't feel good right now. Some of the defensive notes. Robert Saleh will be offered the DC role. We'll see how that goes. He also has interviews with the Jaguars. Or he does have an interview with the Jaguars. I believe it's next Tuesday. And then he's also been there's been a lot of talk about him possibly interviewing for the Raiders job as well. So we'll see, depending on how things go with that, if he wants another shot at the head coaching job, or if he wants to go back to DC for a while. I think he would be my second choice per se. I still think Jeff Ulbrich would be a better one, just to get something new. But I think Robert Saleh would be my second choice. So we'll see. Lots of choices when it comes to DC. Staley is also being interviewed for an internal candidate for the DC job. So another person's name to add to that list. One of the other things is that can they afford Dre Greenlaw? We did see the post the other day about Fred Warner's wife posting about having the best neighbors for the last 7 years, which that is the Greenlaws. And if that is basically them saying that, they can't afford Dre, maybe they already talked about it, I don't know. But then there's also been some pushback on that, saying that, they haven't had that conversation, and it's just hearsay. So we'll see how that turns out. And another one, Javon Hargraves will be released at some point, and then they're also talking about bringing him back, which I don't understand because he's never really played that well. I'd rather us just go completely young and restock the interior defensive line with younger guys and just redo it completely from scratch than spending that much money on someone who honestly is past his prime. I mean, he was when Javon Hargraves was 5-6 years ago. He was prime. In his prime, he was badass. Nobody could stop him. I think it's past those time, past that time, and it's time, just get younger guys in there. Also, things of note: Ronnie Bell has been released once again by the team. He is a free agent, and he probably dropped those papers. All right, everybody, thank you again for joining me here on the Captain and Coffee Morning Report. We got nothing going on at 9 for radio today. The next time we have anything will be Friday, where I'm kind of making a calendar type thing of the next couple months going up. Our actual week our year in review show will be on Tuesday. So TJ is still working on that aspect on that show, and then I'm working on this weekend. Like I said, just basically like a calendar, let everybody know what to expect now that we're out of the playoffs. And what to expect going forward, at least up until as far as we can tell the opening date and stuff like that. All right, everybody, thank you very much for putting up with me and my sick ass this morning. 5 for Ty till 11. One love, faithful.